Hey everyone, welcome you all. In this video we will see the different data types which are present in Python. So in our previous video we have seen what is meant by Python and what are the advantages of Python as compared to the other programming languages. So what makes the Python stand apart in the queue? So why the Python is so popular than other things, and what are the special features about Python? So this is the second video for that lecture series, and in this we are going to talk about the data types. So in particular we will be talking about the different types of numbers which are used in Python programming. So what are all the types of numbers like float, char, int, and some other special numbers which we are going to use in the use as a data types in the Python programming. So let me just open the contents which we are going to discuss about this session. So data types in Python programming. So first in that we will be discussing about numbers. So in numbers we are having the subdivision as integers. We can have integers, or we can have floating point values, or we can have long integers, that is basically written as long here. And then we can have the complex numbers. So these consist of the real and the imaginary numbers together. So the presence of j or I in the number represents a complex number. So like this we will be discussing about these four types of numbers which are used in Python programming in the Python shell itself. So I will show you how to check the integer and how to define the integers, how to define the floating point values in the Python programming. So if you are new to the channel, please guys hit the like button and subscribe the channel for more updates, because we will be updating the Python related videos continuously. So thanks for watching. So let me just open Python shell. So this is the Python latest version, that is 3.8.3. So I'm currently in cell. So if you want to write some code, then you have to select file and then new file. So it will open a new file for you. So let me, as we are discussing about only the data types here, so I will just discuss it on the uh, the uh, shell itself. Okay, so I will start with integer. So integer is nothing but a decimal value, so which has got no dot in the number. So like example I can take, let us say a is an variable which has got a value of 2. So I can say this is the integer because 2 has got no decimal point here. So when I enter, and in case of Python you should note that if you are writing a C program, then you should define the number first. So what is the number, and what type of variable it is, whether it is a int or whether it is a float or whether it is a character. So you need to define, otherwise it will show an error there. So that problem is removed in case of Python programming, because it self declares the variable. So it will see the number and then it will assign the type of variable to the a. So if you want to check the variable type, whether it is a float, int or char, then you just type in there type, then open bracket, then you have to mention the name of that variable. So I'm using a as a variable, so I will just hit enter. Then it shows class int. So this variable a belongs to the class int there, because it is having no decimal, that is the dot in the number. So this is about integer, how we can define. So you can define any integer. So let me see, b equal to 1 2 3 4 5. So this is also an integer, right? So I will just type and then I will write b. So when I write b and hit enter, it will show it is a integer. So this is the integer. Alright, so this is about integer. Now coming to the float. So how I can write the float here? So a floating point value is something which has got a dot in the number. So like example, if I take 1.1, 2.2 or anything which has got a decimal dot in the number is called as floating point value. So 0.2, 0.3. So let me just take an example, c equal to 1.1, and then I will just write type, then open and close bracket. In bracket I will write c. So what is the type of c? So it will show you float because it's a floating point number. Okay, so this is how we can write the floating point numbers. And if I take another example, let us say and then 3 4 3 2 2, anything you can take, then I will again define what is mean by what is the type. So type, then I will mention the variable name, that is t. So I will hit enter, then it is showing float. So it is saying basically it is a floating point number here. Okay, then similarly for if you are having a long number, then let us say like this, you are having some long number, then it will be a long integer. So basically it will be showing as a int itself. So if I write type x, then it should show me int itself. Okay, so it is showing int because it's a long integer. So it is integer, but it is a long integer. Okay, so this is about integer, floating point and long int. Now we will move to the complex number. So what is mean by complex number? A complex number is one which has got real part followed by the imaginary part. So it will be having a real part and it is separated by a j term which is having a complex part. So how I can write that one is, so let me take an example, y equal to 2 plus let us say all right, 2 plus I will write 2j. Okay, so if I write like this, then type, I have to check what type of variable it is, type y, and I will hit enter. Yeah, so it is showing me it is a type of complex number. So as it is containing, this is the real part, 2 is the real part and 2j is the imaginary part, so it is showing it as complex number. Okay, so in this you can do so if you write like this, y dot real, then it will show you the real part. So 2.0 is the real part, and if you want to see the imaginary part of this complex number, then y, that's the variable, dot imaginary. So I can write img, so that is the imaginary. Then if I hit enter, then it will show me the imaginary part here. So in this case both are 2, that's why it is showing 2.0 2.0. Let me take other example where a real part is 5 and imaginary part is 3. I will take, and then I will hit enter. So let me just write y dot real, so it will show me the 5. So this is the real part, and I will again write y dot imaginary, so it will show me 3 because this is the imaginary part of that complex number. So like this we can define the 4 types of numbers, that is integers, floating point values, then the long integers, then complex values. So I will stop at this moment, and we will be meeting in our next video. We will be discussing about the arithmetic operations for just these are the just basics. So as and when you move in our lecture series, we will be discussing about the complex programs here. So I hope you like this video, and if you want to continue with us, and if you want to support, then please subscribe the channel and hit the like button. Thank you. Thanks for watching.